Sunday morning, and thank you for joining us. We're not Bodie Brooks. I'm Trey Watson.
I'm Jared Smith, and we're filling in this week for Bodie. He's getting me a nice bottle of bourbon for this. Did he get you anything?
I didn't get anything.
Nah.
We're the two co-hosts of the Kentucky Politics Weekly podcast, along with Abby Piper, and Bodie's left us plenty to talk about this week. So let's start with the new Republican vice presidential nominee with Kentucky roots. J.D. Vance accepted the nomination at the Republican National Convention on Wednesday. The Ohio Senator's rise to national prominence runs through the Bluegrass. His best-selling memoir, Hillbilly Elegies, details in part his travels to Kentucky with his grandparents to visit family. He even mentioned the Commonwealth during his acceptance speech on Wednesday.
Now, when I proposed to my wife, we were in law school, and I said, honey, I come with $120,000 worth of law school debt and a cemetery plot on a mountainside in eastern Kentucky. And I guess standing here tonight, it's just gotten weirder and weirder, honey.
Jared, I think this choice of a vice presidential nominee really signals, I think, that Donald Trump feels like he's in a strong position. There's not a particular electoral thing that comes with Vance. Trump's already going to win Ohio. There's not like a big fundraising angle. I think that this
he doesn't
signals
bring anything
confidence.
new to the ticket. Usually somebody brings something they add to the ticket.
Yeah. I guess the one thing it does fill in kind of a question that it does bring somebody with military experience, a military background.
Sure.
Vance is a former Marine, so
Trump doesn't have it?
He does not.
Oh, okay, bone spurs.
Yeah.
I'm actually very scared about this pick. You and I both are big foreign policy buffs. He is an isolationism. We both said that the Kremlin popped champagne when that was his pick. European capitals are nervous right now. He doesn't want to do much with NATO. I'm really, really concerned about foreign policy with this guy as vice president.
No, I do keep hearing speculation to kind of fill that out, that maybe there was some deals cut behind the scenes, and you might see Nikki Haley as a Secretary of State, and that maybe was the draw to get her to the convention. So maybe there's other ways that they're going to balance it out throughout.
Trump's past history, Vance's his stance in world politics, I think it's dangerous. Plus, I don't think he's who he says he is.
Well, I do think it's interesting because the pick shows. I don't think any of us would have thought a year ago, 4 years ago, 6 years ago that Trump was really looking at a legacy beyond himself. But I think this pick signals that he feels like he has a movement of some sort that he's the head of, and this is someone who can be a standard bearer for those positions. Agree with him or not, it's going to be somebody who can carry that banner forward.
He definitely fits the MAGA profile, and he's definitely a favorite pick of Don Jr. So, again,
it's the beard.
He's very
Don would like you too. They'd like you too.
It's just the lack of experience. He's only been a senator for like a year and a half.
Well, how'd that go for Obama? I mean,
hey, look, Obama was great. It was great. It was perfect. It was brilliant. I don't think Vance is brilliant. I think he's kind of a fraud. I think the book portrayed something he didn't really live.
Yeah, I think I see a lot of pieces right now being written, people saying that that's not my experience in Appalachia. But I also hear from a lot of other people saying, yeah, this is what I see and this is what I experience in Appalachia. So I think if anything, it's going to bring a conversation about Appalachian life that probably needs to be blown up onto a national scene, and we're gonna have and people in California and Oregon and the Northeast are going to get a snippet and going to hear a conversation about what life is really like for a lot of people in the Bluegrass.
I can pay him one compliment though. You ready? It was refreshing to hear a vice presidential nominee stand up there and bash big corporations for what they've done, and that is very interesting, especially when you go out and fundraise for fundraising efforts.
Especially at a Republican convention.
Yes.
To go out and
where the Teamsters spoke.
Yeah, very strange.
Very
to go out and take. But again, there's this populist move that Trump has brought in, and and a fellow Kentuckian, Scott Jennings, said on CNN last night, and I really agree with him. Trump and Obama, the two things that they really have in common is that they have brought they changed not just the election, but they changed the electorate. They both bring people from outside the normal political sphere into the process, and I think Vance speaks to a lot of those same people that Trump had brought in.
Yeah, but you're doubling down again, like we said. One thing I did find interesting about his book is that he says that they were able to make it because of the benefits that his grandfather had from being a union laborer. So it's curious to see if there's going to be any tact to more union-friendly policies by the Republicans.
Well, I think you see Trump has long kind of been cozying up and trying to steal some of those union endorsements away from Democrats. I definitely think that's probably something that you'll see. It's going to be interesting to see where the party evolves and what does this mean. Does this set Vance up as the front runner in 2028 when if Trump does win, he wouldn't be able to run again. So what does that do to the landscape of what people thought 2028 would look like versus what it's actually going to be?
That's cute that you think the same rules are going to apply in 2028.
At the end of the day, we have a possibility of having somebody with Kentucky roots in the in the vice presidency, which for the Commonwealth is a good deal.
That is good.
All right. A little later in the show, we'll talk more about J.D. Vance and who Donald Trump will face in November. There's lots of questions remaining there, and the story, frankly, seems to change by the minute.